Let's head outside. Quarry is where I've got this camera located, and it's shaking in that north wind tonight. You saw poor Sue Kalberg braving the cold for us out there. Great job, Sue. Thank you for keeping us up to date. Temperature is 31, and we've got a little sleet falling at San Antonio International. It feels like 19 off that northeast wind at 20 miles per hour. Now look at the dew point, 14. Okay, I mean, it is half of what the air temperature is, and it's because of that spread that a lot of what we're seeing on radar is still not reaching the surface. But let me start with these numbers and why we should see some more develop overnight. These are the lows for Tuesday morning. I think 25 to 26 between Helotes and San Antonio International, Lackland 25, Seguin 26, maybe as cold as 23 for Bernie, 22 Bandera. We won't see a big fluctuation in temperature. A lot of parity with these numbers because of the conditions with the clouds and this light precip. But you see the dew point? Going to about 23 overnight and then dropping again tomorrow night. As we get to 23 and we get an air temperature of 26 and those numbers are close to matching, close to saturation in the atmosphere, because remember, if they match, it's 100% relative humidity and the atmosphere is saturated. Well, the closer they get, the more of this that reaches the surface. That's the key. As the temperature drops overnight, dew point comes up a few degrees. That's why we could see a little bit more of this. But this is the trend I'm noticing. Look at how this is kind of thinning out now. West Bexar County, definitely into the hill country. Now, there could be another band or two that begin to develop, but it's very, very light. Once you go into West Bexar County and into Medina County, Bandera, Kerr, I mean, east, and you can see it's still very thick. We're hitting some real good moisture pockets here. But boy, it's really starting to thin out to the west. Now, I'm still seeing some pretty good sleet and freezing rain right down Highway 87. This was about where we saw the KENS 5 live weather truck, and things are wet right here at 410 and 87. So it's definitely going to be eastern Bexar County out the I-10 corridor for the biggest impact. So here's what's happening overnight, and this is why I say 2 to 4 a.m., we still could get a nice little burst of moisture and get some decent snow, because see, as we go to 28, and then we also see dew points come up to about 22 or 23, maybe we get some of this down to the surface. And then look what happens. This is a very shallow area of moisture. This is not a whole lot of moisture. By 7, 8 a.m., this is all pushing out to the east and southeast. It's on the Texas coast, and we are done. And then it's going to actually get a little bit colder. Look, the sun's coming out tomorrow afternoon, so anything that does freeze will definitely melt. Key factor tomorrow is going to be wind speeds, too. Look at 7 a.m. We're expecting gusts between 25 and 30. That's going to really drop the wind chill. When you step out the door tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. in San Antonio, it's going to feel like 15 and single-digit wind chills across the hill country. All right, here's what's changed on accumulation. Look at ice. It has dropped to 0 for San Antonio, and only about 0.03 of an inch to the south, and it goes up as you get to the Texas coast. Snow has also dropped. While we still have accumulation in the forecast of about 1/2 inch, if you were with me at 4, 5, and 6 this afternoon, this number was 1.5 inches. And these numbers were closer to 2 inches up I-35. So some big changes, really kind of backing off the amount of precipitation we see overnight tonight. 14-day forecast, 2 weather impact alerts tomorrow. We only get up to about 38 degrees, but we do get some sunshine. And then the coldest air comes in Wednesday morning as the city goes all the way down to 20. Widespread teens across the area. Very hard freeze Wednesday morning, but no moisture. So no worries. Everything will be dry. 47. We start a slow recovery. Nice looking weekend, mid to upper 60s. And then we get some rain chances on the final days of January, 20 to 30% through Tuesday and Friday of next week. And then the first weekend of February looks pretty good. All right, we'll be right back.